This video is going to demonstrate something known as layer comps. Um, and what it does is it makes it so you can lay out multiple pages easily in one document. You can also do this by turning off and on folders, but that can get to be really tedious. So this document is, it contains many files in it, okay? And if I say this is my base layout, and she's got everything over here organized. She's got navigation, and then she's got like wine club and fly the coop and email and footer and background. So we got a bunch of pieces here, and that's really nice. And inside each folder, so for organization purposes, it's great. Inside each folder, we have like all the background here, and then we have a footer with a bunch of layers in here. So the thing about building a layout in Photoshop for the web is you want everything to be as separate as possible. So now I'd like to create another page, and maybe in that other page I want to put different text. So this would be a very simple demonstration for you, so you can now avoid creating separate files for each thing, which means if you change something up here, you don't have to change it in 5 different files if you're laying out 5 different pages. There is a thing under the window menu called layer comps, and my layer comps was open in a separate window. Let me bring it over for you. So this is layer comps, and if I just press the new layer comp button, we'll say that this is home. It may not be for real, but we'll say it is. And I am going to, at a minimum, have my layer visibility happening. That's the most common one. Sometimes positioning and appearance are checked too, but visibility at a minimum. So I'm going to say OK. And now I am going to create a new layer comp and call this about. Because most of the time this stuff isn't going to change, especially your header and your navigation, your main nav and your bottom nav. But maybe my content area on about is going to change. So I'm going to find my text here. To do that, I'm just going to choose my text tool and click on it, and there's Lorem Ipsum. Okay, so we have this. I'm going to go ahead and put this in a folder that's just called content. And I'm going to create a new layer, or a new text layer here, and this one, and ideally I would have guides in here so I would know where my text begins and ends so I don't make a mess of things. And another way I can do this to help keep my text box the same is I can just duplicate the layer, turn off one of these here. Hold on a minute. So I'm going to go back to home and find out which one I said I wanted on. Well, I wanted this one on for home. And so when I go to about, the bottom one, I'm going to turn off the bottom one and turn on the top one. And then I'm going to help myself out here about main text. So you could even have folders, one that might say home text and one that might say about or something like that, but in this demo, just to keep it quick. And so I will just say this is my text for the about page. Okay. So there's not a lot of text there, right? But that's the point. So I've made a change on this layer comp, and I'm going to press refresh. Now here's the cool part, is that I can go back to my home layer comp and just turn on this icon here, and it turns off the other layer automatically. Any layers that I didn't want on or do want on will be turned off and on respectively. And now I'm going to go to about, and it says, oh, she doesn't want that other layer on, she wants this layer on. So I'll create a third example here, so I can just create these pages now without having to change or work with all these different documents. And so I'll create another layer comp for this and call it contact. Sure. And for contact, I'm going to do just a little bit more for whatever strange reason. I mean, this is just to demonstrate that you can. And I'm going to duplicate the layer again and turn off my about text, and I'll call this contact text. And you would normally never do this, but we'll just make this text just huge, just so you can see it is changing. And I'm also going to take my move tool with auto select layer on, and I'm going to say that I do not want this fly the coop on at all. So I see here, by having my auto select and layer on, or even auto select, in this case it's a group. Usually it's a layer for me. I don't know if I'm dealing with a group or not. So then with that on, while my move tool is selected, I can click on a graphic or text, and it'll take me to that without me having to figure it out over here. Now I can see that that text is in a folder called Fly the Coop. So I'm going to turn that off. And that's all I want to change with this. For some reason I just want that off and I want these two on. So I'm going to refresh my layer comp. Now I can go to About, Home, and Contact. So it remembers the visibility. And then if I click on Position for this, and position for that, and position for that. So if I would have chosen these in the first place, now I can say, okay, for contact, I want this whole group to move up. And let me see if I can get, where's eNews? If I can select both of them, that'd be really great. Yeah. And I'm just going to move them up. So that's what I want for contact. And the other ones, I don't want that to move. So now, you see here, if I really wanted that, I normally wouldn't do that in this scenario, but we'll just say that I did. Now that's all there is to it, and if I wish to change that Fly the Coop graphic, I can change that graphic. But I only have to change it in one file, and then I can switch from page to page to page. So that's why using layer comps is really awesome when working with web page layouts. And you end up with a very large Photoshop file if you have lots of pages you're mocking up, but at least you're not dealing with making 10 or 15 pages all look exactly the same. And now you can do things just nice and globally here, and it will speed up your production time immensely.